Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm talking about urban Jewish cultural heritage in Sulaimaniyah city in Kurdistan. But before I do that, I would like to... But before I do that, I would like to introduce you to Sulaimaniyah city because what I gathered from yesterday, which introduced Jewish people from the north as villagers. Even if they are villagers, I believe that their identity shouldn't be invisible of argument of Iraqi Jewish or Arab Jewish. But thank you very much for the presentation of Jeffrey Khan and Orit Bashkan. They nicely expressed how Jewish people are diverse in terms of identity. So Sulaimaniyah city is in Kurdistan. It's the second biggest city in Kurdistan. It is a great city and very developed. It has a historic neighborhood which belongs to 1784, 2 centuries old, and with the establishment of Sulaimaniyah city, which is very beautiful and organic pattern, narrow roads and beautiful listed of buildings, cul-de-sacs. They all established by Kurdish communities and Jewish Kurdish communities. They were part of this establishment. For instance, in the time when Suleiman Pasha Baban established Sulaimaniyah city, invited Jewish people from surrounding of Sulaimaniyah city, including Halabja and Qaradakh. They all came along other Kurdish communities. They established Sulaimaniyah city. So their neighborhood is in the south. It is a quite beautiful neighborhood. There are lots of listed buildings in the area. However, the area as all is under conservation plan practice, but unfortunately due to financial crisis as an excuse, so there's no conservation plan practice. But thanks to the people, still the buildings and listed buildings are standing because they really doing research in the area was very challenging for me, because I found out how they valued Kurdish historic environment, including Jewish culture heritage as well. So my project is to explore how Jewish community contributed to the heritage of Sulaimaniyah in its tangible and intangible form, based on concepts of place via notion of distinctive urban culture heritage. I have 3 objectives: to explore forms of local responses to urban Jewish culture heritage, to understand implications of Jewish urban culture heritage on place identity of Julaka and neighborhood, which we call Jewish people Julaka, and then their neighborhood until now is called Julaka. So third one is to explore contribution of Jewish community to historic environment of Sulaimaniyah city. So concept of place is used in terms of experience of people, engagement, involvement of people, and which leads to place continuity and place dependency and place identity, to explore how people use environment and shows the symbolic and unique understanding of heritage and physical environment. And then 3 notions of cognitive, affective, and behavior response of people are used in the interpretive analysis of this study. And then I have a historic environment, because since the area is historic environment, so the role of historic environment in terms of involvement in social life and contribution of people, how to use environment and distinctiveness of historic environment, which allows interaction of people in the place. And my research is mainly qualitative research based on interviews, focus groups, and document analysis and oral documentation. So, and my finding really was interesting, and really, because what I found is a strong and how can I say, is there's a strong and link between Jewish culture, heritage, and Kurdish people, how they valued their culture, heritage, and how they respected, how they responded, reacted to that culture. For instance, in terms of economic benefit, if I start with one of my respondents, he said, I felt a loss because they could have an impact on our economic growth. They were very good at trading. So you all know that Jewish people were very good at business. So including Sulaimaniyah cities, they were pioneers in many, different kind of business and trading and stuff. So they totally dominated the Sulaimaniyah Bazaar in that time. And then this leads to their ability to build a physical environment, especially in their neighborhood, which is, we have listed buildings in Julakan neighborhood, very beautiful architectural elements, arches and facades, and I don't want to go to the detail. However, it's my background more about is architecture and urban planning. So I have a lot of description about these buildings in my PhD and master's thesis. But in conclusion, this is one of building is Shalomo House. He was a very well-known man. So one of my respondents said is a unique house, should be used and remembered as part of our heritage. So another interviewee said government planning guidance is missing, so there are alterations and demolition in the neighborhood. So they were disappointed, and but in terms of a living environment, they insisted they were part of the community. They were really helpful and supportive. This belongs to the way they were part of the establishment of Sulaimaniyah city. So especially they were talking about the time when Sulaimaniyah city totally destroyed by the flooding, but Jewish people, they were very helpful and contributed to the rebuilding of the city. And then another aspect of living environment, there were, women especially, they were pioneers as well. They contributed in terms of music and art. We have a list of historic poems, songs is written by Kurdish Jewish in Kurdistan, and the songs are amazing. And one of my respondents said, the song make me think of my family, my house, and my old friends. So there's a story of, there's a love story in the neighborhood in Julakan. One of the Jewish boy loved a girl, but she married to a rich man. But when she married, he went to the public and then started to sing. And it's really amazing. So have a listen just for... called Chalaband, so it's very well-known song. And then we have another reason, is political reason. We have a joke in Kurdistan. We say we have no friends except mountains. But this doesn't mean that we are not good in making friends. Actually, people describe us as generous, kind, and brave. So, but this belongs to the history and our experience. Promises are being broken. So, for instance, in the time of establishing Iraqi state, Kurdish people, they wanted their autonomy for their region. I quote a British officer in the book by Tracy Holden. The British officer he says, where is it? Just give me a minute. For me, this was a tough assignment, as the great majority of the people were Kurds who cared little for any Arab prince. So you see here, they promised to Kurdish people, but Kurdish people, they declared Kingdom of Kurdistan, for instance, Sheikh Mahmoud Namir, but instead, by Royal Air Force bombed Kurdistan. So I'm telling this story because it's same for Kurdish Jewish, because I say Kurdish Jewish because yesterday is all about Iraqi Jewish and Arab Jewish. So it was the same for them, because history and documentations and all they emphasize on how Jewish people supported rebellions and signed a petition against establishment of Iraqi state. So in here there is the emotional part. When the Jewish people left Kurdistan, which Kurdish people they didn't want to leave, they said, we're going to be fine, we are making our own state, but what about you? What are you going to do when you have to question about your state? And then, in conclusion, I would like to say, really, it was great to see how Jewish culture was valued and respected in Kurdistan, and it was considered as a contribution to our own cultural heritage. And then, thank you.